What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and back to the Less Alex podcast. I am Alex. How's it going, everybody? Hopefully, you are all having a great night. Today on the pod, we have a guest. He's been on the channel before. He's a monster, an absolute beast in the sports card content world. If you don't know him, I'm happy that you're getting introduced to him here on the channel, but it is Dustin from the Personal Finance Dad. Dustin, how's it going?
Alex, how's it going, man? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Glad to chat with you. Last time we talked about a pretty wide variety of things. I'm excited for our conversation today. If you're watching this live, I appreciate you. Make sure to hit that like button. If you're watching it on YouTube, I'm actually streaming this to 3 different places. We're on YouTube, obviously, we're on Twitch, and we're on Periscope on Twitter. So if you guys, I think I'll see all the comments and everything too. So that's pretty cool. If you're listening to this after the fact, though, on the podcast app, make sure to head on over to Apple Podcasts, give it a 5-star review. That is the #1 way to help the algorithm, the algo, and basically so they'll suggest this podcast to more and more places. I appreciate everyone for hanging out. Yeah, we've got some stuff to talk about. Obviously, I do want to kind of share with the viewers and the listeners a little bit of like your content and everything, but also like your creative process. You make videos like what, twice a day almost?
Yeah, sometimes. It just depends. Yeah.
Yeah, you're an absolute monster. I thought I was working hard, but you are absolutely just destroying everyone in the like sports card content creator. I guess you could call it that. But yeah, your output is insane. So I definitely want to, talk about some of your more recent pieces, some of your more recent content, and then like just kind of dig into your like creative process and how you consistently come up with new ideas literally every single day, unless, I'm sure there's certain occasions where, you don't. When was the last time you didn't upload on YouTube?
Actually, it was maybe like a week or 10 days ago, was the first day in a while, but I do try. And what I try to do is kind of, I want to have an average of 1 video a day. And a lot of times I'm ahead of that. If you average it out, I'm probably like 1.5.
That is wild.
Yeah, but so even if I miss one day, then I try to put out 2 another day. But they're also not 30-minute videos. A lot of times they're 8 minutes, they're 9 minutes, 12 minutes. I mean, sometimes I put out a 15-minute video, but I would say that that's a long one for me. So
yeah,
it really just depends.
No, certainly. And I mean, I think I try and get mine to be right around at least 8 minutes, where, some people, like you said, can do 30-minute videos, and that is just a behemoth of a video.
Yeah, I think it's like creative process, though.
Yeah.
What I try to do is like, within the hobby, it seems like even on just a daily, weekly, monthly basis, there's new topics, there's new questions, there's new things that pop up. And whether it be, PSA changing their prices, or what do you guys think about group breaks, or what, all these different kind of inroads within, sports cards. And not even just sports cards, but collectibles. I also do like graded comic books and graded action figures. I do mostly sports cards, but it's a collectibles type show, and I do mostly sports cards because I'm just deep into it. But yeah, I mean, I kind of think about, and a lot of times too. I mean, I watch a lot of hobby content too, and I have been watching a lot of it over the last 12 months. And so something too, where it's like, I've seen it, I see it in the chat, or I see a lot of people kind of chattering about it, but I don't see content on that subject. Then I try to get that out quickly. I try to get that.
And be a first mover.
Yeah, I try to. And then also, and I know a lot of us do kind of, cards that are going up and cards that are going down. And because I think people just like to watch those. There is an element of like, I'd love to make a video on different flavored Triscuits, but maybe nobody else cares about that.
Exactly.
So.
And that's one thing too. I've been doing, and if you're regular here on the channel, you probably already know this. I personally have been doing a lot of like top 5 videos recently. Why? because they perform well. And at a certain point, kind of to your point of I can make, hey, here is my personal collection. Like I can make that video 10 different ways, right? And talk about some
Yeah.
of my favorite cards in my collection. But at the end of the day, I think, especially, you're closing in on 4,000 subscribers last time I checked. But at a certain point, your viewership, your viewers, you got to start making content that that they're gonna be receptive to. So I
Sure.
think that's kind of, at least for me, I don't know if you want to kind of talk on that, but at a certain point, you got to stop being selfish. If you want to be a content creator, and post videos, you got to stop being selfish with your content, I would say, and just make videos that you think your viewership is going to enjoy. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I do try to mix in,
yeah,
like the comic books and the other types of collectibles, in part because I think it would be nice to kind of broaden the audience a little bit. But the fact is those there are some people that buy comic books and buy sports cards, but they're also very different audiences as well. So there I've noticed that. I can tell that there there's a lot less views on the comic book stuff than there is
right.
on the sports card stuff, because that's not really my base audience. So I don't make a ton of it, but it's something that I like to sprinkle in, because I do have people that ask me like, hey, can you do other things? Can you talk about other collectibles? So I'll do that. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, and I also just talk about kind of general concepts around collectibles and sports cards too.
Yeah,
And a lot of it is kind of like, I almost treat it like discussion with viewership, almost like, here's kind of how I feel on a topic. Talk to me about it, because I just take the stance too. It's like, I'm not some 30-year hobbyist that's been doing this for my entire life.
right.
I collected cards as a kid. I got back in 2.5 years ago, and I've learned a lot in 2 years. But I feel like I can always learn more, and the hobby adapts all the time. So to stay on top of it, I want to hear what other people's perspectives are. So I'm a genuinely curious person in that way, and so that's where you and I, we're building communities. And we want to
Absolutely.
be, and to build a community, you have to interact with that community, and and that's the whole bit.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Definitely about building a community, kind of curating your content. I mean, when you're smaller, and I'm not saying you or I are like anything like hot shit or anything, right? But at a certain point, you have a base that expects a certain style of content. But it looks like, so we are streaming this on 3 different platforms. Like I said, Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope. I got some of my old school regulars from Twitch talking about, can we get some magic content and stuff. So I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Savior and Jo, I appreciate you guys. No magic stuff tonight though. I've been kicking the tires on doing a magic stream on Twitch a couple times. So maybe not saying I'm gonna go back to it, but maybe a couple sprinkled in here or there. But let's take a look at some of these questions. We do have some kind of floating in.
Yeah, I was wondering what those purple, like on the comment side, all the purple stuff. I'm like, what is that? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that must be
So yeah, those are Twitch comments or
that's
Twitch
awesome.
chat.
All right.
So this is cool, man. Super new territory for me here, with kind of streaming on multiple platforms. But we got Dave G. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for hanging out. We got, who do you guys think? So we can kind of just jump into the Q&A. Kind of blows up our entire plan, but whatever. If we got questions, I'm definitely down to answer. Dave G asks, who do you guys think will be better, Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow? This question is, in my opinion, I don't know, you answer as well, but this one is a hard one to answer because they've both looked pretty darn good out of the gates. My gut says Joe Burrow. It seems like he's got that swag, he's got everything, he's got the intangibles, and he's got an absolute cannon. So
Yeah.
my heart says Joe Burrow, but obviously it's insanely too early to predict. I did do a versus video on these two players' mosaic rookie cards. Spoiler alert, the winner was Joe Burrow. So that's kind of where I stand on it. But if you want to talk about, Herbert or Burrow, Go ahead and fire away.
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of going into the season, I thought, Burrow's going to be good, and Herbert had no idea that Herbert was going to be any good at all. And
Yeah, right.
he looked really good this first half of the season. The one thing that stood out for Herbert is how accurate he is throwing the ball deep downfield. And that's really what's kind of separated him from me from some of the other guys. He can throw a laser 40 yards down, on the money. And even like, Josh Allen, if you go back last year, that was something that Josh Allen really struggled with. He's got a cannon, he can throw the ball deep, but he wasn't accurate. And Josh Allen's gotten a lot more accurate this year, which has helped him out. So yeah, with Herbert, with both of these guys, I think the big question mark is, what are their teams going to do? And are they going to be with these teams long term? If you're talking about who's going to have the better career, you're looking at the Chargers and the Bengals, both teams kind of at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, the Chargers are better than the Bengals right now, but that could change, over a couple of years. And so then that's kind of the big question is, are they going to stay on the same teams? And are those teams going to get better? Because I think the QBs can be great, but if you're consistently on a bad team, I mean, the Bengals are in a really tough division. I mean, they're in arguably the toughest
really hard
right now.
Especially with the Browns actually doing something.
Yeah. So, I mean, Burrow could be amazing and just never get out of, fourth place in the division.
Yeah. Very fair. Very fair. Savior says, personal opinion, Herbert has better weapons that allow his game to be better. I mean, that's fair.
For this year. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dave G says he's a fan of Tua. Or not a fan of Tua. Sorry, I got that wrong. Not a fan of a lefty QB. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I think everyone's just kind of, with his injury background, you just can't feel super comfortable with Tua until he puts a couple seasons in, and he's kind of like I guess it's sort of a comparison, but like Zion in basketball, it's like he's already kind of beat up as a young player, and can he play full seasons?
Dex. That's funny.
What's up, Dex?
How's it going, man? Thanks for hanging out. Everybody, looks like we got 20 or so. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. But yeah, so we have some actual scheduled things that we want to talk about here. So obviously football season well underway at this point. You're a Saints fan. I'm a Browns fan. Depending upon how you look at it, things are going extremely well for the Browns, I would say, compared to the last 20 seasons. But how are you feeling about the Saints right now?
I don't feel great about them. I'll be perfectly honest. I mean, they're the worst looking 5-2 team that I've ever seen. Like, the record is good, but I think they've won all 5 games by 3 points or something. Or no, the first week against the Bucs, we won like 35-20. But every other game we've won, we've had to really squeak by and barely win. And it's just, Breeze has gotten a little bit better. First couple of weeks, he looked 41, every bit of 41. He's kind of getting a little bit of a groove. But Michael Thomas hasn't played all year, really. And without him, I mean, he's a big part of our offense. He caught 150 balls last year, and it's like you can only throw, like, there's only so many ways you can set up a screen for Alvin Kamara before defenses figure it out. But I did see that it looks like we're going to get Emmanuel Sanders and Michael Thomas back because we've got the Bucs on Sunday nights, huge game.
Gonna be a big one.
So it's just, can Michael Thomas get on the field? Is he going to produce like he has? There's just a lot of question marks with the Saints. So yes, I'm happy about the record, but can we go deep in the postseason? I think that's going to be the big question.
Absolutely. Did you see that? Michael Thomas could potentially get traded. I'm seeing that rumor floating around. So that would obviously be a wild thing if that happens. But yeah, to your point though, Breeze hasn't looked very Breeze. I mean, he has at certain points, but man, he definitely isn't, at least to this point, who he's been in the past, which is, one of the best to ever do it, at least in my lifetime. So
he can't get the ball downfield. So, if you look at our offense is about as good of an offense as it's going to be for a QB that doesn't throw the ball past 25 yards. So, if you're within 25 yards, you're super accurate, but the defenses can cheat up on you because they're not worried about Breeze throwing it over the top. They're just not, and
Right.
that's, so it's limiting.
Definitely. Definitely. Curtis Evans asks, how's it going? First off, how's it going, Curtis? Do you think Chase Claypool has a chance for rookie of the year? I definitely do. I mean, I predicted that, and maybe a little bit early, that the Steelers would struggle this season, because I honestly didn't think that Roethlisberger was going to come back as good as he has. He's looked amazing compared to, you think about guys. He got Tommy John surgery, and that's really not a thing that happens for football players. So
Yeah.
I was pretty low on him. Also, I'm not a Steelers fan at all. Obviously, I can't stand the Steelers. So, but a little short-sighted on my part. But yeah, I don't know about you, but I think Chase Claypool could definitely potentially win it. The 7-0 struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if Joe Burrow continues along this path, because even though the Bengals are not winning, he's putting up huge passing numbers for a rookie. I think he's breaking records for a rookie for like passing yards and different things.
Yeah.
I feel like a quarterback's going to get it. What the best QB. I'm just trying to think of who else. I mean, I like Claypool. I just feel like he's just such a long shot because he wasn't a high draft pick. I just feel like they'll probably try to give it to more of like a big name, for the league, for the fan base and stuff.
Yeah, especially, if Burrow performs well. I mean, it just, like you said, for the league, do it for the shield, and it's going to make more money too, right? But yeah, so we do have some products coming out here fairly soon, actually. We've got, of course, Prism 2020 football Prism coming out. Honestly, I like it. I'm going to bring it up here on screen, but I don't know if you've taken a look at this article or you've seen this yet, but here it is. The set looks clean. I'm not a big fan of Prism typically. I'm not, it's just sometimes looks kind of cheesy, but like, it looks good. My biggest thing with it sometimes is they don't have enough of the actual field behind them.
Yeah.
And obviously this season we have a huge window, and it creates good imagery, good contrast. And I mean, look at that. That looks so sick.
Maybe I'm a weirdo, but I like those snakeskin ones. The snakeskin,
This one?
the parallels.
Yeah, I like those.
I can't see what you're seeing right now. It didn't pop up for me.
Oh yeah,
but
they look cool, I think.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we lost Dustin.
Connection.
Oh nope, he's back.
Yeah, yeah, that Burrow snakeskin. That's nice.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's going to
be one per case on the snakeskin. So that'll be definitely, if you pull this Joe Burrow snakeskin, that's going to be a pretty penny.
Yeah, that's going to be pricey.
Yeah.
I like them too. I'm not buying hobby boxes for $1,000, but
no way.
I considered doing, maybe doing a break, maybe doing a couple of breaks. And I don't really do breaks, but I was just thinking, I don't know, maybe that'd be fun. If I could get in on a good one.
Yeah. Definitely, if you can get on the right price.
Yeah.
Obviously they're going to have autographs. This set looks good though. This set looks clean. Of course. I mean, oh my God, this is beautiful. The color blast. Look at that.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And I mean, in any Prism set, they have the color blast typically, and they're always expensive, the color blast inserts. So
yeah, you've got stained glass too. That's very popular.
Stained glass is pretty cool. I'm
not crazy about how they wrote stained glass on there, but I like how that one looks.
Yeah, it looks neat, but they could have. I think maybe if they would have put like a filter over the actual player, I would like it more. Like maybe just like a red filter or a contrast, like maybe a yellow filter or something, just something to contrast the color.
Yeah, I like the vertical ones too, like as opposed to the horizontal.
Yeah. Yeah, vertical have a different range. Yeah, I could see that. But my favorite insert for Prisms is Color Blast. It just looks so sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this product. Like some folks in chat are saying, it's going to be $1 bazillion, and like you said, the hobby boxes are going to be $1,000. But I mean, if you can find them in retail, which it's going to be hard.
Well, I think
but,
I think the retail is going to be so pricey because all those dudes that get them at the Walmart and the Targets, they're gonna. I mean, I think people will pay. I think people are going to pay a lot. I
yeah.
think I've even thought about that too. Like, would I pay a few $100s for a box? Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to pay 1,000 for a hobby box, but I don't know. I mean, if I could get a good deal on something that's, secondhand. I think the other issue too is this comes out. If this comes out, I think December 2nd is now the new release date. There's really no other products, not any like premier products for it to compete with leading up to holidays. You've got like a couple of basketball sets, like clearly Donruss and stuff, but I mean, there's nothing that's super exciting. I mean, like Prism Basketball comes out in March. So I don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing to compete with it.
There's
really.
nothing to compete with it. It's going to be the top dog. Obviously, people are flipping sealed boxes of Donruss and Absolute, and I'm just like, what in the world? We live in some bizarro land, but it is what it is at this point. This is kind of the world we live in, whether you love it or hate it. I personally don't mind it. I might get some heat for that, but like, people are saying, I'm sure you see in Facebook groups and stuff, like leave some for the kids. It's like, no kids. These aren't going to kids. If you don't buy all of them, literally the next person's going to buy all of them.
Yeah. Leave some for the other 40-year-old man.
Right.
For it, yeah.
Now I probably would, if I ever found any Prism or anything Bowman Chrome. I literally, the only way I got baseball Bowman Chrome this year was from viewers and other like YouTube people. They found some and sold it to me at MSRP. So yeah, that's literally the only way I found any. I couldn't find any from any of my local big boxes.
Honestly, Dave, for this product, I might do like the early morning Walmart, like talk to the
stakeout.
I might do something like that. Okay. And just, maybe get my kids out there. Hey, grab my daughter. Yeah. Hey, we're camping out tonight. Waiting
like
for
Black Friday kind of thing.
Yeah. It actually could be kind of a fun experience. I could make it into like, hey, we're camping out in the Walmart parking lot. Family. My wife's like, what are we doing?
Right. What's going on?
I'm like, babe, you have to
don't worry about it.
I'm like, you have to be here so you can buy 8 boxes too. Like, and just in case there's, limits.
Yeah. You, your wife and the kids all get to, cause they're starting to limit it too. That's something too, that I like.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think it is it's not on Prism, or it's not on Panini. It's not on Topps. I think it really is on Walmart, and it's on, Target or Walgreens or wherever, to actually enforce it too, the limits. But yeah, no, I think it's just the world we live in right now.
Yeah.
But Dave G says maybe flippers will think it's NASCAR Prism. I actually did find some NASCAR Prism. I didn't pull the trigger because I don't care about NASCAR. But could somebody in chat tell me, is that actually reselling? Like, are flippers buying that? That's hilarious if so.
I almost feel like anything Prism, retail, you could probably make a little bit
on. I also see Topps Chrome for WWE. So, and I'm like very casually at this point am like interested in wrestling, like professional wrestling. Like I keep up with the like big pay-per-views and stuff of WWE, but like I don't watch the weeklies. So, I mean, that's something that like if I was bored or just like super frustrated that I couldn't find anything, like if I went to like, because I'll have those days where I go to, 3 to 7 stores, and sometimes I'll not find literally anything worth getting. So maybe that'll be the day that I break down and buy some WWE packs.
My Walmart only has Pokemon stuff. That's it. So I'm probably like, oh man, there's no basketball cards. I'm probably passing on like really limited Pokemon stuff because I have no idea what it is.
Right.
But
my Walmart and Targets have Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, and Yu-Gi-Oh. But
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic aren't limited like at all, and the Pokemon stuff they have are not the desirable like Champions Path stuff. So I'm just like, all right, well, but I mean, Pokemon cards look cool, but it's just like if I can't at least hit something that's worth value, probably not going to want to pick it up just to have it. So
Yeah.
because it's nothing that I am like truly invested in. Um,
I was laughing too because all the retail people are like, the young people that can't get into, that they're not going to like, rip packs and they're not going to get into it. Me and my daughter went to a card show last weekend and
yeah.
literally bought like junk wax era pack. This guy gave them to us for free. They were like, they were 5 packs for $1. And he was like, you know what, just take 5 packs for your, if she wants them. Cause she was like, oh dad, actually she thought wax pack meant like, she thought it was like slime video where you make slime. She's like, "Ooh, can we play with like wax? Is this like a wax toy?"
Oh,
Like, all right, well we can. I mean, we'll pick some up. I mean, they're 5 for $1, and he's like, "Don't even worry about it, man. Just take them. If she wants them, type thing." But that's like, if you want young people to rip wax, there's plenty of junk wax stuff. Go get some '92 Flair Ultra basketball and look for Shaq rookie cards or whatever. Like it's out there. I've got boxes of '91 Skybox basketball. They're $20. And there's actually like 30 cards in a pack. It's not
yeah,
like you buy a hobby box and there's 5 packs with 1 card each and you get
right.
cards.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God. That's one thing I hate about Prism. You'll buy like one pack and get like 3 freaking cards. Like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, did I just buy crystals or basketball cards? Like,
Right?
are
What
these
are
diamonds?
these?
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, no, that's one thing I love about Tops is they like juice the packs full of cards. Um, but yeah, so I like the way that Prism looks. We got some folks. Andrew says he doesn't like the way that Prism looks this year compared to past years. I think it looks great.
Good. I
Um,
won't have to fight you at the Walmart then.
yeah, right. What? No, he'll be there. He's trying to flip them.
Honestly, I kind of want to go to the Walmart and just experience that, where there's like 10 dudes just standing there waiting for the people, the people to show up and just talk to them. Like, how long have you been here? Like, do you do
Right.
this every week? Like, I want to learn, like, how are you doing this?
Right. Do you know the actual workers or the distributor's name? Like, are you on a first name? Do you text? Like, what is this? Um, yeah, man, it's crazy over the last, I would say, like 4 or 5 months. Like everything is gone. You can't find anything except for like Allen and Ginter. And so for those that don't like pay attention to a baseball product, that is basically like the bottom tier of baseball product. It's because they have like celebrities and stuff. So you can pull like a 2 Chainz card or like, like people who aren't athletes. So
Yeah. I
um
think I saw that, like Ricky Bobby or whatever, like something like that. Or who's the baseball guy? I can't think of his name. Danny McBride.
Danny McBride, yeah, from oh my God, down Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that card. Like that card's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones actually, but um so Robo Token asks, is there a large pro wrestling card market community? Actually, yeah, there actually is. A lot of the value for the WWE cards is in the autos. Like that's really the only way you can possibly make money. Rookie cards are kind of sketchy just because like what's a real rookie? Like with AJ Styles, I know I'm kind of getting off the beaten path of what we were planning on talking about, but AJ Styles WWE rookie card is way different than his TNA rookie card. Obviously, that was like 10 years later. So but yeah, no, there is a market for it, and people I think have entire eBay stores devoted to just selling WWE cards. So
I
yeah,
did a video on that set, the new Prism wrestling stuff, and the like basically people were commenting that like the female wrestling cards are more popular than the male ones for like the current stuff. Because I was asking about that because you see people pop up with like the '82 Hulk Hogan cards and the older stuff like the vintage wrestling cards.
yeah,
So I was trying to figure out like is John Cena like a good card nowadays, or who are the the cards to collect? And they're like, actually no, it's like the female wrestlers and like the
yeah,
vintage stuff. So I was like,
I can
oh,
see that.
that's interesting.
Alexa Bliss autograph rookie card going for big money, I'm sure. PSA 10. Oh my God. Um, what's up, Joey? How's it going, bud? Thanks for hanging out. Um, you opened some. Let's see. So many comments. Curtis, what do you mean you open some and grade some? Guys love the female wrestler cards. Alexa Bliss Kiss Auto. All right. I knew she would be popular. She's one of the most popular women wrestlers. So but yeah, so we do basketball season obviously wrapped up. It feels like a couple weeks ago. But they're starting to talk about restarting it as early as December 22nd, which seems absolutely insane to me. What are your thoughts on how quickly they're flipping it and going to try and get back on the court?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I know that they want to do it by Christmas. I, I
Word.
I feel like it'll be January at the earliest. I
Yeah.
honestly, I think the players will just want to get through the holidays and just kind of regroup, and then the other piece of that is I'm assuming they're talking about going back to the bubble in Orlando.
Yeah.
Just assuming that the stuff hasn't. We're still kind of in the same world that we've been in for the last 9
Yeah.
months.
Not much has changed.
So I'm assuming they'll at least start out in the bubble. So that was not a great experience for the players and their families. They're not able to see their family for months and stuff. So
Absolutely.
I don't think they're going to be pumped to get back into that. I think they'll probably just be like, well, if we wait till February and March, can we be on a regular schedule? I think they'll be having conversations like that. I mean,
Absolutely.
if it's like, hey, if we wait till March, but everything's back to normal, then maybe but the NBA is going to be saying, we need to get this revenue going too. Like we have to, at some point, the NBA is probably thinking like we need to get back on a regular schedule.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Otherwise, basketball is just going to be a summer sport. Like,
Yeah.
It's crazy. I agree. I think they're going to have to push it back. I don't think, especially for the Heat players and the Lakers players who are literally there the entire time, had enough time to have a cup of coffee, basically have a night at home, and already they're back to the bubble. That seems miserable just from a human standpoint. Like, that seems terrible. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. It's interesting times we live in, that's for sure. But with that, we got, of course, Prism 2021.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too. Like, I mean, I haven't heard really any excitement about the upcoming draft class for basketball. It's kind of like, I barely even know who's in it. I mean,
no, I'm in the same boat.
I haven't heard any talk about. I mean, I know like it's LaMelo.
LaMelo or bust. That's what people are making out to be.
Yeah, there's a few players, but really, it's So this Prism product that's coming out, I'm really curious to see. I mean, I know that there's going to be a lot of kind of pent up demand for a really, obviously like the best basketball product, but it's not even close to the draft class that we've had the last
year.
2 years.
Yeah. Really? Oh my God.
So yeah, I mean, and it's going to be very interesting to see if it's still, and now look, I mean, I think people are still going to want to get their LeBron and their Luka and all their Giannis and all that stuff, but I think it's still going to sell out. But is it going to have the same sort of, demand and excitement as the last 2 years? I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think because last season, obviously Zion, you couldn't even, I literally couldn't even open up my YouTube browser without seeing Zion front page, bam, right there. And then obviously as we moved later in the season, all the talk was about Ja and all that. And then, so it'll be interesting because of the weaker draft class. Will it be as hyped? Obviously, we don't have a lockdown going on, so people aren't going to be in front of the computers going crazy buying cards. Obviously, we'll wait and see if there's some kind of stimulus check that hits. That could definitely help the market from an investor's standpoint. But I don't know. I'm skeptical that I don't think it'll be as hot as it was over the last couple months, last 6 months.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that, when there's some people that don't really, there's a debate as to whether or not stimulus played a big role or not,
Sure.
as far as, basketball or sports card prices. And I think that it played a big role in it.
I do
I
too.
really do. I don't, because, and I'm not saying that the demand wasn't already kind of going up, because I remember seeing it last fall. It was already kind of heating up and prices were already going up. If you look at like November, December, January, and then they just kind of went to a whole nother level when we got to April, May, June, and I think that just a lot of that had to do with stimulus. So if the whole thing is contingent on everyone getting a stimulus check,
Yeah,
or actually, the other part of that is a tax return.
definitely.
Like, are people going to get a big tax return and spend it on cards? Maybe they will.
Right around the same time too.
Yeah.
Because Prism's scheduled for March 3rd. We'll see how the distribution chains look. Obviously, the pandemic could affect that still. So who really knows? But Hoops is the first basketball set scheduled for January 13th. I don't know your thoughts on Hoops, but obviously over the last couple months in this entire year, Hoops has gone nutty. It used to be literally dirt cheap, and now some of those cards are PSA 10s are going upwards of, I mean, $200-$300 for like Lucas and guys like that. But
Yeah.
it'll be fun. It's crazy. Like and I said this in the last episode. I feel like I say this every time I go live, but it's true. Like, it didn't matter. You could invest in almost anybody and you were making money. So it'll be interesting to see how the second wave of this hype train, where it takes us.
I think hoops is going to be popular, like you said, just because, again, like, it's going to be that first, it's 2021 hoop set, or
Yeah.
basketball set, and everyone's, there's going to be that pent up demand. Like, we want Prism and we want Optic and all that, but it doesn't come out till later. Hoops is going to come out and people are going to be all over that. That stuff's not going to be sitting around at Walmart's, like, it's going to get
Yeah.
scooped up.
Yeah. We have learned that nothing's going to be sitting. Nothing's going to be sitting. And that's true. Ryan says, Flippers are going to buy Prism regardless of the class. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to consider. Obviously, the prices of PSA rising. I think that could also potentially affect the prices of slabbed cards. Just because if your base, no PSA 10 is going to sell for less than $50 now. It just wouldn't make sense at this point. So where you could find guys, especially with baseball, there were a lot of just really underpriced baseball players in PSA 10 cases last year. So, or beginning of this year, right around February-ish, January, February, like guys like Manny Machado, $25 to $35 shipped. That's ridiculous. That card got up to $100 during the regular season. So I think our baseline dollar amount, and I said this months ago, I really do think it's going to be about $50 for a PSA 10, no matter who the player is almost. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree with that? But
yeah, I'm really curious to see what kind of happens with, I feel like there's enough parallels out there now to where the grading the base cards to get the PSA, taking the $2 base card, grading it, and then selling it for $80. I think that stuff is gonna. I think it'll still happen, but I think it'll be less and less. Now, I know that not everyone is paying $50 for a card. If you're going through a third party, or you've got a membership, or whatever, then you're paying less than that. So yeah, I'm really curious. Honestly, like, PSA pop reports in general really, really intrigue me over the next 3-6 months, year. Like, a year from now, there's a lot of cards that I want, frankly, that I'm kind of like, you know what? Why don't I just wait? 6 months, maybe wait a year, and just see where those pops are. Like, let's see where the supply is.
yeah,
If it's a card that's fairly common, if it's a modern card, now if it's vintage, that's a whole different ball game. But if it's a modern or ultra modern card that was printed over the last few years, odds are they're going to be there. Like, it's not like, unless it's a very, very rare card, but a lot of the ones I want are just, it's like an Optic rookie, Optic hollow or something. I just want to see how many pop out of that PSA. The million cards that are sitting at PSA that I keep hearing about. And the same with all the grading companies. They're all sitting on loads and loads of cards.
Yeah, they're still all backlogged from earlier this year.
And you have to believe that a lot of those were flippers, or maybe they're not flippers, but they get those cards back finally, and they're like, you know what? Now, I think I am going to sell it because it just took forever, and I just want to get my money back.
Right.
So all that supply hits the market, and then prices typically go down if the demand's not there to meet it.
Definitely. Chatty H asks, why do you think buying raw and grading will go down? Curious. Did you say that?
No, I meant base cards. So I guess
Yeah.
I think that buying $2 base cards of LeBron, 16-year LeBron, like let's say that 2021 hoops base LeBron card comes out in a Lakers jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if as many people are going to send that in for grading as they did previously. And I just feel like there's so many different parallels now that the base stuff, I don't think that they'll be doing as much of that. I could be wrong, but I do think that there's still going to be a lot of people that are buying raw and sending into grading. I want to make sure I clarify that.
Right.
But
yeah, that question caught me off guard. I was like, I don't think that's what he said, but cool. Yeah, it either way it goes. I definitely think with basketball, what I learned over the last 7 or 8, 10 months or whatever it's been, especially digging in, because I've never really been basketball focused. I've always just been baseball cards. That's always what I've done. But with basketball, this past year, you could buy any raw card of like a Luka Doncic, like a high level player, and you could flip it and make big money on it. It'll be interesting to see if that's still the case, or if investors are only interested in PSA 9s and 10s. So that's something I could see changing, because you're buying Lukas and Donovan Mitchells and like these big name guys, at least I was, raw, and then seeing the results of what the pandemic took on PSA, I was like, I'm not going to send these in and then potentially lose money. I'm just going to flip them now, triple my money in some instances, or quadruple. I mean, honestly, in some instances with Luka and stuff, but it'll be interesting. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but like basketball was just like a slam dunk, like no pun intended. I didn't even mean to do that, but
I'm really bullish on PSA 9. Actually, I put out a video on it today, I think. Yeah, I think it was today. Not that I don't buy PSA 10, but just to be able to diversify and buy more cards.
Mm-hmm.
PSA 9s, there's just so much out there that are, and also, a lot of times you can't really tell a huge difference between the 9 or in the 10 or the 10 and the 9. I think that PSA, I'm sure a lot of those graders, they sit there and they're like, man, this one could really go either way. Like, I know that happens.
Flip a coin. Yeah.
It's got to happen. I mean, I know they have their parameters. I'm not, like it's like refereeing a sport. You watch a play and you have to make a call on it. It goes one way or the other. And so I do think that, there are some tough calls there. So that's why I would like PSA 9, because you can get them. Typically my threshold, and I target very specific players. Like Luka is one that would be, but that's I feel like everyone that basketball cards has got some Luka. So for me, Luka is a target. And if I can be anywhere under, 25%, maybe even 30%, depending on the card of what the PSA 10 is. If the PSA 9 is 25, 30% price wise of what the PSA 10 is, then I target that sort of ratio. And I mean, I've bought up quite a bit of the PSA 9 stuff, because I do think, and like you mentioned earlier, with grading only getting more expensive, those are going to be at a premium. I think people are going to want graded cards. I don't think that that's going to go away, where they're like, forget graded cards. We're just going to buy raw. Because honestly, like when I started collecting, that's all there was when I was 8 in 1989. All you had was raw. And it was literally walking into card shops and like the sticker, the dealers got the stickers like, oh, this one's near mint. And then I'm like a 9-year-old, like, I don't know, this corner looks a little fuzzy. It's near mint, kid. It's $20.
Right.
That's what you're dealing with. So at least, and PSA is not perfect and BGS is not perfect, but at least if you have, the third party grading, you've got something to work with.
Right.
You can look at sales transactions and negotiate like that. So
Absolutely. Yeah, that's funny. That takes me back to going into card shops too. Is like there's a little bit of negotiation. I don't know about you where you went, but like there was a little bit of negotiating room just because I was in there all the time. But like
yeah.
typically it's like, all right, this is the price. You either pay it or you're not taking it home.
Well, and I think, I'm using kind of an extreme example, but there was a lot of good card shop owners too that wanted kids to come back. So they
Right.
were like, "Hey, I'll give you this one for free, or I'll throw in these cards."
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of good.
Get a little grab bag on your way out.
Yeah, but they're running a business, so you can't fault them for trying to.
Yeah. Brian says he loves PSA 9s. I think there's great value. I don't know what it is. I just like the 10. The 10's a 10, man. You can't beat a 10.
Don't get me wrong. I want
timepiece. Like, but no, I'm definitely going to start looking at 9s. One thing too, for baseball, and I know that is basically what majority of my viewers are interested in. I would go 9 times out of 10 if you have the opportunity and the budget to go with one PSA 9 or 10 graded versus 4 or 5 raw. Go with the graded. You're going to be able to flip it a lot easier. Unless you have like just the best eye ever and you can find all those gem mints online, or obviously, and card shops are starting to open up. And you said you went to a show recently too. I watched that video.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did they not let you film inside of there? Or?
I did take a little bit in there, but they had signs up like no pictures or anything, and I was also trying to be careful too that I wasn't filming other people, that I didn't want to be like, hey, you didn't get permission for filming and all that. So, I had my daughter took a couple of pictures here and there, and we posted it, but yeah, I was just trying to be a little bit more careful and respectful because nobody else was doing it. It'd be one thing if there were like if we were at the National or something and everyone had a camera and doing it. This is like a warehouse, full of people, and I was like, I would have been the only one filming. They would have been like, what the heck's that guy doing?
Right. And that's just weird. I don't know about you, but like I've tried to do like vlogs, right? For like going into Target and stuff. And it's just weird having like whether you're doing it with your phone or you're doing it with an actual camera. Yeah. It's just strange. People look at you, at least in Illinois. Like it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really done it. I haven't done it much. I mean, we've done a little bit, but yeah, my wife's not walking around with like the boom mic.
She's just got it.
Hey, babe,
right on set.
Yeah, can you get the audio right? Or are we just gonna have to redo this over and over again?
Oh god, you gotta like walk into the Target like 3 times to get the perfect angle. All right, now you got to get it from this angle. Okay, now set up over there, and I'm gonna walk this way. Oh god,
what is that? All the B film or what are they? B roll?
Yeah, the B roll. Oh god, that's great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, I want to do more card shows. There's not, I mean, actually, and I'm in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. They are starting to pick up and do more stuff. North Carolina has been kind of more on lockdown. We've been a lot more careful just as far as opening things back up.
Sure.
But they are starting to do it, So, and this was actually a pretty decent sized show. I have watched YouTube videos of other channels where they're like, oh, I'm at this show, and it literally looks like it's 25 tables. Like they look tiny. Yeah. These card shows, a lot of them. And this was over 200 tables at this show I was at. Now, the last card show I was at was in like, a shopping mall, like the Dillards and the JC. Okay. Like everyone is set up. I was thinking that way. Like 30 years ago, you're a kid, you walk into the mall and you're like, yeah, card show, and your parents are like, dang it, card show. We have to go walk around, look at all these cards. So, but that's kind of where my mind was. And then when I walked in, it was like, okay, well, it's not exactly what it used to be, but It was still cool. My daughter thought that I was actually gonna. She's like, "Where's the stage, Dad? Like, where do you set up?"
Oh, she thought you were gonna like present or
Yeah,
something.
she was like, "Where do you go on?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? We're here to buy cards." And she's like, "Oh man, I thought we were here to do a show." She got all dressed up and stuff, and then once we were there, she's like, "Okay, I'm ready to go." She's like, "Are you hungry?" "I'm hungry." Like spoiled kid.
That's awesome. She thought Dad was gonna be, front and center. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh man. Um, no, that's cool. Also, like the biggest card show I ever went to was whenever the Cardinals had the All-Star game in St. Louis, and it was basically like a fan fest, I think is what they called it. But basically, they had like all these activities for kids and stuff, and then like a massive card show. It was crazy. It was awesome. Just looking around, that was so dope.
Yeah.
There's only been, I think, one card show since things have started to open up around here. It was like an hour away, so I was like, I'm good on that. But let's see. Get back to these comments here. Everything with the Topps logo has been hot. I've even been flipping insert and mascot cards. Okay, that's interesting. Would you guys ever think about buying a certain card graded from other companies because they're cheaper and cracking them and sending them in?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I've considered. I haven't pulled the trigger on it just because there's, just that's sketchy. It's risky. You're already you're paying more for the card, obviously, because it is in a case. So say you're going from SGC and you're going to try and get it to a PSA 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a risk because maybe you could buy that Bo Bichette for like $5 raw and still gem. Now you're paying 30 to try and get it to 60 or 70.
Right.
It's a risk. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know about what are your thoughts on that?
I have heard, and I'm not I buy graded and sell graded, or I buy raw, sell raw. I haven't gotten into the game of grading, buying raw and grading.
Right.
I'm not against it. I just haven't. I don't trust my eye to be able to do it right.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I'm risk adverse in that way, to where I'd rather just buy graded, sell graded, or raw to raw. I've heard of people come to me and say they're buying GMA stuff, so a GMA case, because it's like.
Okay.
It's fast turnaround time. It's like, I think it's like $8 a card or something. And now they don't have the reputation that PSA and everyone else has. But I suppose, for certain cards, maybe it makes sense. But I haven't done any of that. I do think too, with PSA 9s, kind of going back to that debate or whatever. Another comment is, I think that if you're also thinking of someone that did a huge PSA submission, and like you said, they're hoping for 10s, but then they've got all these 9s.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people are more apt to negotiate on those because they just want to move them. They just want to move the 9s, and and maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe they want to hold the 9s and sell the 10s. I don't know, but I feel like they're like, oh darn, I got these 9s. Well, let's just move them so we can try to get more. Let's submit more for grading, try to get 10s.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting angle. I could see that, especially, and that's why I always say when buying on eBay, always don't ever just buy it outright. Just make an offer. If you're bidding on something that doesn't have that offer option, don't bid on it, unless obviously it's like a one of one or something that you really want for your personal collection. But if it's like a base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. PSA 10, just go for the one that's literally right under it. And try and get a better deal, especially on PSA 9s, because I didn't even think about that. That is a really good point. People might have just got it back from submission, and they're like, okay, well, I want to reinvest this. I'll take a maybe 10 or 15% less than what it's worth just to try and roll that money into another card. So
that kind of happened to me at that card show that I was at. I bought 3 Giannis PSA 9 cards. One was a 2017 Silver Prism. One was a 2019 Silver Prism, and the other one was a 19 Ruby Wave. And they were all PSA 9s, and he gave me all 3 for $90. And when I went and I looked on eBay, there was a Ruby Wave that sold.
I don't know the prices of any of them, but it seems like a good deal for you.
It was a good deal. I mean, there wasn't a lot of comps on eBay for all of them. But when I did look at it, there was some, if I was looking at what people were asking on eBay compared to what this guy sold them to me for, it was way above. There was like 2017 Prism Giannis's for like $100, and I got it for 30 on average, for the three. So a lot of people say that card shows can be very expensive, and I do think that you will run into tables where they've got stuff marked up and everything, but you also have to paid for a booth. They
They
stocked
have to pay for. Yeah, that's the thing.
They want to sell cards. So I mean, and maybe you go on the last day.
Especially on the last. That's what I was about to say. If you go closer to the end of the show, you're definitely going to be able to find deals because they are not going to want to pack up all that stuff again. If they got like a big old 50-cent, 2K or whatever, if you see some good cards in there that maybe potentially should not be in there, maybe make an offer on the whole box because I guarantee they're not going to want to have to carry everything, especially if they're not local. So
yeah,
that would be my little that would be my little thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dexflow says avoid all base overpriced or overproduced.
Yeah, the trouble is there's so many parallels now that base is so I mean, if you come it's all relative.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you think about how many parallels there are, base does feel like there's just a lot of base. But it's all relative. How much is the cost? If the base is $1 a card, or whatever, $2 or something compared to the parallels, well, it just depends.
Yeah. Devereaux says, I just tried to get my 14-year-old son into collecting cards with me. We went to the shop. As soon as he saw how much they were, he was instantly unimpressed. Yeah, it's getting crazy. That's for sure. Especially some of the big name 10s. What's your guys' opinion on sending cards to be graded? Or you do? Okay, so yeah, Chatty, we kind of just talked about this. I like buying raw, selling raw, and vice versa, buying graded, selling graded. As do you.
Yeah, part of my issue with that is, so I had a plan that I was going to grade raw cards, and I was like, you know what, I'll get a kind of a third, like I'll get a second opinion before I send the cards and all that stuff. But then basically everything hit the fan in March, and then all the timelines got pushed back. So like a 30-day was now a 90-day, and a 90-day turnaround's now a 6-month, So then I was like, well, I might not see these cards for a year. And so that's where it just kind of, just stopped for me there at that point.
Yeah.
Until they get caught up.
Yeah. That's kind of my thing. It's like, I didn't want to have to wait, and obviously not sending it in, you're going to have to wait longer, but I was out as soon as I saw 6-month turnaround time. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'll just either sell this raw or wait. Ryan says, I'm going to go to a card show in New Orleans next month. Only 35 tables. That seems like a lot.
Yeah. It depends on how it's set up, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, if they're only like 4-foot tables, and yeah,
you can blow through 35 tables pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, Toa also said 35. That's small. That's good stuff. Right on, man. Well, we are approaching 58 minutes. If you guys have any more questions, we've kind of been just, going off the rip here and just kind of doing our own thing, answering questions throughout this whole thing. So if you guys have any more questions, now's the time to get them in so we can answer them. And then, I think we're about close to calling this one a podcast. If you guys are watching this live, make sure to hit that like button. It is really, truly, and honestly the best way to help support the content. It's 100% free. It takes one flick of the thumb if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. Hit that follow. It's been a long time since I said that, but hit that follow button. Long-term EV on Commander Legends. So there's a Magic the Gathering set that's about to come out. Dude, I think that set's going to be insane value. If you keep it sealed, if you crack it, obviously reprints are going to happen eventually, and then you lose all your value. But no, I think sealed boxes of Commander Legends for Magic could be potentially worth some money. Magic's so hard because they do reprint. So like, for those that don't know, obviously, we know a rookie card of LeBron James can never be reprinted. Obviously, they can reprint it, but it won't be a true rookie card.
Yeah.
In Magic, they reprint the cards every 3 to 4 or 5 years. So it just destroys your value on all the cards. So
do they mark it so like which one was the?
Yeah, so sometimes they'll have different art, and then the set symbol. There's a set symbol, kind of similar to Pokemon. If you're familiar with that, there's a set symbol. So sometimes there'll be different art, but still, a lot of the cards are meant to be played and not collected. So therefore, once you release more, the price is going to drop a little bit, no matter the card. So
Interesting.
When is Eric Perry asks when my next collaboration is. So for you and I, we're going to be doing one on your channel sometime late next week, early the following week.
Yeah, it might be next week, or it could be the following.
Yeah,
on my channel. Yeah, but it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming up. And then for me on the channel here and on the podcast, actually, I'm going to be on Malone Money Mindset tomorrow. I'll be on his channel. So guys, go check him out. But let's get how many day turnaround? They're talking amongst themselves. That's fine. Same question with Pokemon, Vivid Voltage, and oh man, I don't know too much about current Pokemon sets, my guy. What's up, Jason? How's it going? Thanks for hanging out. Will you have more pro wrestling content for the road to WrestleMania? I keep seeing, I might honestly buy a couple blasters because it's literally like that or just these garbage like Yu-Gi-Oh packs.
That's funny. I'm shifting my whole channel to pro wrestling content.
There we go. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's your next guest next week. Could be 122 days turnaround time. I don't know if that's PSA or what company, but that's no bueno.
I'll just buy PSA 9s.
Yeah. Closest thing to Magic reprints and sports cards is 1989 Pro Set. They're still printing those. Touche, Eric. Oh, all right, guys. I appreciate everybody who's watched this, who is listening to this. Again, if you're on the podcast, listening to it, 5-star review. Actually, if you guys are watching this now, go on over to Apple Podcasts. Please just give it a 5-star review. I appreciate everybody who's listening. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're new here and you made it this far, jump in the comment section. Let us know what set this year are you excited for most. There's a lot of heat that is going to be coming out here towards, the beginning of the year. And I'm excited for, Prism. I'm not even really big into Prism, but it looks pretty cool. And if they take that same design and have that for basketball, I think that's going to be real fire.
Oh yeah.
But
skin basketball cards. You kidding me?
Yeah. Oh, you can't beat it. Black Mamba. Oh my God. The Kobe Bryant one's going to be sick.
Awesome.
But yeah, so obviously, Dustin, if you want to tell people where they can find you on the internet and where they can follow you and find all your content.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is The Personal Finance Dad. I have to remember my handles here. So Instagram is The Personal Finance Dad. Twitter is invest_in_cards, I believe. Yep. And that's it.
Awesome. Yeah. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at LessAlex. Twitch and Periscope viewers, I appreciate you guys. This is first time I've ever done a triple threat stream. I feel pretty good. It didn't go pretty much went without a hitch. So pretty cool stuff. I definitely think I'll be doing more triple streams here coming up. I appreciate everybody. If you want to help the content out, check out the eBay affiliate link in the description. Also, Dustin, your information and the link to your channel is in the description as well. So make sure to go subscribe to him. He's making content literally every single day. So if you guys think that I'm a beast, he's doing it once, maybe even sometimes twice a day. I appreciate. Thanks for coming on, man. This is, you're always fun to talk to. So
absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me, Alex. This was awesome.
Definitely. Next stream, Chatty. I'm going to be doing a live cop. So we're going to be going on to eBay, trying to find some deals with the community. So I'm going to be doing that maybe sometime this weekend. And then I have a versus video. We're going to be doing Mike Trout versus Mookie Betts. That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be one that I think could be pretty contentious. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on who is the best in the biz right now. So that one will be coming out actually on Thursday, so tomorrow. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. And as always, until next time, keep cracking packs, keep collecting. I will see you all in